Messing around with things when you shouldn't be and when you should be watching the clock. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Gracious me. Took myself by surprise. So let's say hello. Hi, Tanya. Welcome this evening. Hi, Kylie Russell. Jackie Hall. You're in nice and quick this evening. And Colleen, you got in too. Welcome. Hi, Kelly. Oh, hi, Ash. How you going? Jean Hartman, welcome back. And Lisa Murray, hello. So we're from all over the place today. That's awesome. I hope you've all had, and Karen McAllister. Well, yes, Lisa, that would make both of us. Both of us. I've had some really cool things go on today. So I have an introduction to give you tonight that I received when I was doing a reading today. Oh, look at my beautiful little fella shining right in the screen there for you tonight. It's wonderful. I do love him to bits. So I hope you've all had a most enjoyable spring day. It seems to have been a fleeting day for me. Quite an interesting one at that. It began with a call from a man reaching out for help for himself and his two adult children. He's saying that ever since his wife and their mother passed away 4 years ago, nothing has gone well, nothing has gone right for him or their children. And I like their children. I said, how old are your children? Oh, 28 and 32. So our children are always our children, right? So he said that he had been referred to me. He said, but I don't really know what you do. And I laughed and said, no, me either. Don't think that was helpful to him. So I asked him who had referred him so that I would know a little bit of why that person thought that he would do well to come to me. And then it all made sense. So I gave him some of the explanations of why people come to me and spoke to him about the privilege of being with people who are in a coma and can't be woken, or when treatment is not working. And that seemed to create some tears at the other end of the phone. So that was the start of my day. And next was a delightful time in the first session of the Soul Mastery Collective. And you know, these things, these beautiful pathways for soul expansion, soul growth, they bring a lot of joy to me when I see the shifts, the changes, and even the oh dear moments in my participants. And one of our beautiful ladies here tonight, Jackie's going to end up being one of the teachers in the School of H.E.A.L. She is excelling incredibly. Her participation in her own soul awareness is exceptional. And it's an absolute delight to watch Jackie flourish and bloom so beautifully. So, oh, hi, Lena. Hey. Happy birthday for yesterday, Lena. Everybody sing happy birthday to Lena. Wow. Sorry we couldn't be here on your day, but here we are today, and it's a delight to see you. Thanks, Lena. So where was I now? Lena's birthday distracted me. Yes, working, Jackie coming in, and she will be one of the teachers of School of H.E.A.L. So tomorrow, sorry, I haven't even finished today. It's been such an amazing day. And then I had the privilege of reading for a young man. And the appearance of a being that kind of stood me back a little bit. And he looked at me and he said, Andromedas. I'm like, oh, hello. Is that your name? And he said, no. And now I'm talking he, she. Yep. because they have a male or female energy, and there is no denying a female or male energy. So he said not. And what he stood with was an amazing bow and arrow. Yeah, it's awesome with you, Jackie. He stood with an amazing bow and arrow, very large bow and arrow. And I asked him what the bow and arrow represented, and he said that he is a warrior angel and that he presents ready to be that warrior, and that is what they use, a bow and arrow. Cupid used a bow and arrow too, but no, there was no Cupid about this fella. He was beautiful, don't get me wrong. So it was really quite amazing, and I asked why he used the word Andromedus when speaking to me. And this is what I wrote down. You have a clever and logical mind and a common sense approach to life. I thought that's pretty boring. Really. I've got esoteric, Gnostic, mystic, all those things sound a whole lot more interesting, but the word Andromedus sounded, wow, that's really cool, and thinking that that's what he was, but it was not. And what that actually says is that I'm a humanitarian who is generous with her time and often compelled to be of service to make life easier for others. So, hi, Kim Jane, welcome. So I'm very glad to have made his acquaintance. The other presence in the reading was Archangel Metatron, presences really, Archangel Uriel and Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Metatron is particularly busy in the world of humanity presently. It is a very consuming time, and it's a consuming time in your shoes as well. You are being consumed by busyness, consumed by conversations that are not soul-driven. What's a soul-driven conversation? A soul-driven conversation is one that is inspiring, uplifting, it's powerful, it is void of attachment. So the message that Archangel Uriel had to share was that one of the reasons that many humans are struggling presently is their attachment to this world, attachment to everything they believe to be real. Now, I'll be right up front with you and say, well, when I first encountered this way of thinking that this world's not real, I'm like, well, if I put my hand on that candle flame, I'm pretty damn sure it's real, it's going to burn. If I, look, Lisa, if I handle that too long, I mean, it's very heavy. I could build my biceps with this. It's a good weight, this beautiful piece of labradorite. It's very real, right? It's got weight to it. It's real. I can feel it. So, yes, things that are in this world in front of us are real for this moment, but they don't exist. It's a hard one to swallow, isn't it? But Archangel Uriel's, exactly, Lena, exactly. And not many know how to have them. And that's because of attachment. Attached to pain, attached to loss, attached to material possessions, attached to a status, So attachment is Attachment is really one of the biggest entrapments of this reality. So let's wind that back a little bit for you. And I'm going to ask, as always, for some help, guidance, so that I will reach you on a different level of consciousness. I will reach you on a part of you that is beyond the questioning material mind. So it doesn't matter how you choose to listen to the words. It won't matter, because it'll be reaching you in a different part of your consciousness. When you listen to a lot of people talk, it's about the weather. It's about the government. It's about lack in their life. It's about something the neighbour did. It's about what was on the news. It's about what was in the newspaper. Or for some people, it's a replay of their past. And they talk constantly about their past. Then there is the flip side of that, where you have people who talk about a future that is full of misery. So the past is no longer a reality. No, it's not. It's not a reality. It's gone. You can't go back, pick it up, and live in it again. It's gone. So it's no longer a reality. And people say, yes, it is, because if this didn't happen back then 20 years ago, or if so-and-so wasn't standing on the side of the road at the time I was standing on the side of the road, then A, B, C, D wouldn't have happened, and that would have changed my life. That is not a conscious conversation. That is not a soul-driven conversation. That is an attachment conversation, attached to what might have been, could have been, what was perceived to have taken place back then. And then to talk about the future. Now, I can tap in and share with you what things are coming for you in your future. But for a human or a person to talk about their future and talk about it in a negative misery sense, or even about I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if we're going to be okay with the weather, because the weather's changed so much. None of that is a soul-led conversation. Why would we want to have, oh my, hello, Robin. Courage is the cure. Sure is, girl. Welcome. Welcome. Why would we want to have a conscious or a soul-driven conversation? Because when we have a soul-driven conversation, we become the creators. We become the power that we are. We are no longer enslaved, entrapped by outer influences. And believe it or not, we can actually change that is appearing to be going on for us. But if we are constantly in that, like people who talk about the past, people who talk about a future that is not even real, it's not present. Nothing that isn't present is real. The more fuel you give it, the more you will call it into your reality. Now, if you're a science-driven person, and we know how important science is, tongue-in-cheek, of course, if you want to check out what the scientists have actually caught up with in relation to the power of the human being, the thoughts, the spoken word, you can do that, but I'm not here to do that. What I want to look at is what was brought to me today about what is consuming humans and people now. And it has done for quite some time, because it has been cleverly orchestrated. But it is about attachment. So being attached to the physical world, being attached to everything that is read, that is put in front of you. I was looking at a lady, a doctor actually, who used to be here in Australia. And because her husband started an informed medical options political party, somehow there was a complaint put out about her work. Now, her work is all around sensible medical ways, medical approach. Good evening, Maria, and welcome. Lovely to see you here too. Because her approach was through natural processes, natural food, natural therapies, some people in supposedly a medical department went after her. So they have driven them out of Australia and they're over in America now. You know, if people weren't so attached to their own agendas, to their fear, these things wouldn't be able to take place. So a soul-driven conversation is one that is not about the past, not about a future that doesn't exist. It is a conversation that is powerful, strong, powerful, and it is uplifting. But how do we do that when we are covered in the heaviness of sorrow, fear, grief, worry, concerns about lack, not enough money for this or that? How do we emerge and come out of that muck and get up to there being a soul conversation? And as Lena says, it's one of her favorite conversations, real talk, not many enjoy having. And this, Lena, is a fabulous mention. The reason not many enjoy having is because of their attachment to everything they believe to be real. So, yes, this pen is real in my hand right now. It's also not real. It doesn't exist. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? It's a bit of a worry. Your phone is frozen, Tanya. That's a worry. Don't get frostbite on your fingers. Oh, you are back again. So the reason that people don't enjoy having these conversations, Lena, is because it takes them out of their sense of what is real. It takes them out of their sense of what they are heavily invested in through attachment. Now I'm going to touch on a topic that is quite often very difficult, and I'll put my hand on heart and say I don't like it. Yeah, likewise, Lena, unless I'm with my beautiful souls in around this kind of time or in one of my pathways. Dying to get out of here. Oh, I shouldn't say that. So, death. I said to someone recently, please don't refer to your loved ones that have left this world. Don't refer to them as dead, because they're not. They are around. So for the young man that was here today seeking guidance, his grandmother and a great-grandfather appeared, as did his daughter, who did not make it into this world, and he understood every bit of it. They're not dead. They are around and they can talk to you. The funny thing is, there's plenty of people I might call the walking dead who think they're living, but they're actually not, because they don't participate in their own life. You see, this world, this reality, as we call it, actually requires participation. But it's not participation by being attached, where we can't let go of things. Yes, absolutely. Good evening, Debbie Bowles, and welcome. Absolutely, when somebody leaves us, as in they pass from this world, it is very sad to see them go. And grief is actually one of the greatest teachers that we have to experience in this life. Losing someone we love dearly, and especially if it is a traumatic or a lot of suffering death, meaning the physical self has died, so it's not functioning anymore. Yes, they're in another room like that, Maria. Just because they are gone, they're not, their physical body's gone, they are not gone. But you see, we are attached to wanting to be able to see them, wanting to be able to sit with them and feel them and hear their laugh. And that is a normal part of grief. The thing is that when we are so attached that we can't let go, we actually inhibit them, but we create tremendous blockages in our own life and we create lack. Lack comes around in every which way when you are still very, very attached to someone you loved who's passed. And as I said, I put my hand on heart, I am not a good one for grief. I feel it tremendously. I feel everyone else's grief tremendously. And it is very sad saying farewell to someone or a pet that we love very much. No doubt about that. What Archangel Uriel wants to have you think more about and help you navigate these times that we are in, because there is quite a lot that is going to change in this reality, and it's going to change rapidly. If you are of a higher consciousness and you carry less attachment, even down to non-attachment, and it means non-emotional attachment, then you are going to navigate and manage through these changes with much more ease, grace, and peace. Now, those are things that are integral to the soul. Peace and harmony, joy and love, they are integral to the soul. So when you are in a place of being able to release and not be attached to things around you and including people, you are going to navigate the new world a lot better. Yeah. Yep. I love that, Lena. Thank you for sharing that. You said he was gone. He said no, just went away. When my young nephew, Jack, decided that he'd had enough in this world last year, when I connected with him afterwards, one of the, great question, thank you, Lisa. One of the things that was really took my breath away was that Jack felt that if he actually left, so his physical self died, right? But your soul can never die. Your spirit can never die. So he felt that if, as a soul, he went, everybody would forget him. And he didn't want anyone to forget him. So he felt that if he was still around being a pesky spirit, because he was being a pesky spirit, playing with taps, playing with doors, stopping garage doors from going up and down, turning lights on and off, having little disco parties with the LED lights. He felt that if he stayed in that form, then people wouldn't forget him. That Dee Waddle, hello, lovely. Much love back to you too. So he then found that being in that in-between place was no good. It wasn't a place of existence. Whereas to go transcend and transition across, then there is a realm of actual existence. And as I said to my beautiful people in the Soul Mastery Collective this morning, souls walk in and out of us all the time. You know, we often say, oh, somebody just walked over my grave. No, they didn't. They actually just walked straight through you. So we are in parallel worlds. There are spirit, there are entities, there are other beings that walk among us all the time. And they walk clean through us a lot of the time. There are many different realms. There are many different levels even in the astral plane. This is simply kindergarten, and probably the hardest kindergarten of all down here. Really is the school of hard knocks, as it's known. The thing is, you can reach in and get the wisdom, the amazing, powerful wisdom and the guidance of your soul. Your soul didn't come here to suffer. It came here to experience, but it didn't sign up to suffer. A lady that two of us on here tonight, myself and another gorgeous lady on tonight, knew was involved in a fatal car accident around the Perth area last week. And when we were talking earlier on, I was able to access what took place for her. And the explanation was amazing. I'm not going to mention any names. If my friend wants to make any comments, she's welcome to. So we're talking about attachment and non-attachment, right? What I was shown about this lady's passing and the explanation about the accident was nothing short of amazing. So to everyone else, everyone who was there in that moment of reality, they saw what is perceived as an accident. Well, you'll be saying to me, well, Gwenda, when a car crashes, there's no perception about it. You can hear it, you can feel it. Well, I can tell you I've been in a motorbike accident and 3 car accidents. So yes, I know very well what it sounds like. Oh yes, and my push bike accident too. It was actually my uncle's push bike that he got for Christmas, but never mind, that's another story. Wasn't much of it left after when I finished with it. So the thing is, there's no such thing as an accident. Bit hard to swallow that one, isn't it? But it's true. So in regards to this apparent accident where 2 people's lives were gone, in regards to our mutual friend, she showed me that she was extricated out of her body so fast and within nanoseconds of that accident happening. So when the collision actually happened, she wasn't even in her physical self. She was already taken. And she was taken so fast, she herself said it was the most amazing light, almost like lightning. Now, for everyone that is in this reality, they need a way to explain things. They need a way to understand things. So to say that this lady died in a car accident is acceptable, right? You can accept that because, well, you can explain it like, well, this is what happened. This people came that way, this people came that way, and then that person, something happened, they had a medical incident, and then there was a collision. The point is, it's attachment. It's attachment to wanting to be able to explain something so that your mind, your physical mind can accept it. And I know this is really difficult for a lot of people. I'm just going to read Carmen's comment and welcome Carmen. 2 years since my husband passed. My love to you, Carmen. He had no choice as he had to accept palliative fist. He still visits, but I'm feeling he is getting more peaceful. Tells me life goes on, and that it does. Had the most amazing visits. Is it, Carmen, from heaven? There is a journey and a Condi to find their own spiritual way. Yes, absolutely. And Lena says human self, the state of mind, attaches itself to the experiences. Exactly right, in this lifetime. So when somebody has experienced trauma, and I'm not by any means sort of being flippant about trauma, right? Please understand that. What this message from Archangel Uriel is about is to help everyone know that they have a far greater power within them, and through alignment with the archangels, with the guides, with even the grand council of the divine, to be able, to be able to live more peacefully, to be able to access that incredible power that can shift anything in this world. But to do that, you have to be able to understand non-attachment. Lisa has a question here, and the reason I've left it up is so that I don't forget to go back to it. And it's a very good question. So how does an empath manage that? Well, to start off with, to label yourself as an empath is immediately to be in this reality. So immediately to be attached to Melanie Cortez. Hello, long time no see, darling. I'm so disappointed that I'm not back over there yet to run another retreat, but trust me, it's on the cards. And yeah, it would be really nice to see you again and your beautiful little one. So wanting to have that label as an empath immediately restricts you. It immediately puts you in a box, and this is what you believe. And that's what the false reality is of this world. You then create an attachment to what being an empath is. Me too, Melanie. Please feel free to engage with me here. So if something's making sense, put it's making sense. If something's not making sense, tell me. Tell me, can I have more on that? Can I have some more description or whatever on that? That's what I'm here for, to help you with. So Lisa's question is a good one. And manage it. So if we're going to manage something, then we are believing that is right. It is what's happening. If you were to go to be soul aligned, divinely aligned, you don't have to ask those questions. You don't have to look for how to manage it, because your awareness, your conscious level of awareness shifts to such a point you see things differently, and you can see that everything plays out the way that it's meant to. Thanks, Tanya. Awesome. So when you are looking at wanting to take yourself on a level of consciousness that is more soul-driven, soul-led, the way to look at it is, am I attached to this? Have I given myself some kind of restriction through giving myself some kind of label? Now, for the work I do, everybody wants to know, what do you call yourself? Well, it's a label. So I do have to laugh, because I will say, depends what day you ask me. And when it comes to someone like a business coach, they're not impressed. You're supposed to know how you describe yourself. And I say, well, it depends who I'm talking to. No, you've got to have it down pat. Well, no, because I don't fit in a box. One day I will, but I don't fit in one of these little boxes that creates an attachment. And even my clients will say, it's too hard to describe. It's too hard to say what you do or what you should be called. So I'll take many names, many names. Well, no, not all of them, be fair. Names that are appropriate. So how does an empath manage anything? Start by deciding I'm not an empath. I am a being of divine light. I am limitless. There are no boundaries around me. And I wish to have an open mind. You see, an open mind doesn't attach. Now, believe me when I say it took me quite a while to get my head around this art of non-attachment. It's not something that we can just flick a switch and do. It's like anything in this life. It takes participation. It takes practice. If you wanted to be an NBL basketball league champion, do you think you could just walk out on the court and claim your space and claim the ball to be that? No, you can't. If you wanted to be the Top Gun, I don't know, race car driver, like, you know, those weird looking cars they drive around the Formula something or others. If you wanted to be the Top Gun in that, could you just go and get in one of them and claim it? No, you can't. There is nothing other than laziness, because you don't have to do anything to be lazy. There is nothing in this world of this reality that doesn't take participation. But the question is, how much do you participate in your own life? Because when you participate in your own life, then you are opening yourself to be led, be guided by the power of your soul. You cannot be impacted on by the call of other people. In the session that we did last week in the Diamond Soul Awareness, we were talking about cultivating authentic empowerment. And authentic empowerment is something that you really have to work towards, but you can't just step into it, because there are all these layers of attachment. There are all these layers of expectations. There are layers of different emotional blockages that you carry in your energetic fields, in your physical body. So when we're going to cultivate authentic empowerment, one of the best things about that is you're no longer victimized emotionally by other people's reactions or responses. I love that line. You're no longer victimized emotionally by other people's responses or reactions. What you thinking about, Tanya? And yes, the open mind. Allow yourself. Now, I will tell you, I was resistant to this business of, allow yourself to die. I'm like, don't be ridiculous. I don't have to give myself permission or allow myself to do anything. That is a contrived part of this construct where you've got to ask permission, and somebody else has the authority to say yes or no to you. Well, bugger that. I've never been into that. I've always rocked the boat, and that's the way it'll always stay. So working with the idea of having an open mind means that you learn the art of non-judgment. And who do you bliss and stillness for me, none of my business what others think of me. Jackie's been a poet now. Good one, Jackie. And that's so true. And my darling Jack even had a saying when he was a little boy. He was only six or seven, and he walked into a conversation with adults, and it was around minding your own business. And Jack immediately pipes out with, I don't mind your business. You don't mind mine, but I don't mind your business. And we've sort of held on to that for a while. I don't mind your business. That's right. I don't. And it's actually none of my business. So having participation in your life takes practice, because everything in this reality is designed to distract you from being a participant in your own life. Everything in this reality is created to put you out there, so that you are talking about the weather. What's it called? See, I'm such a participant in that reality, not global warming. Is that what it is? Yeah, something along those lines. It's a load of rubbish. It is part of the construct here to keep you in fear, to keep you worried about what's going to come. Don't you have a hard enough time living just today? Never mind what's going to come with some artificial global warming or whatever. Do you get what I mean? Most people have a difficult enough time managing their day every day, let alone what's going to be happening somewhere down the track. Small talk, yes. Tanya and Karen, you two need to make a wish. You wrote it at the same time. It is useless small talk. It has no benefit to the soul, and it has no benefit to humanity. Now, if you want to be a contributor to humanity, then look at small things of kindness, of thoughtfulness, of compassion that you can do right now, like in the moment that you're in. Those things shift a galactic consciousness, not just global. Energy flows no matter what. So the energy coming through bricks, people like, how can energy go through bricks? How can my energy go through bricks? And yet they don't question that they can turn on a television and a picture appears on there, or they turn on a button and somebody's voice comes through from the radio. They don't question that. That is all energy. And how does it come through? It is brought through by the conduits, if you like, of electrical circuitry and so forth. But what about a remote control for a car? You've got a little remote control in your hand. Your car is way over there and you can start it or open it from over here. That is energy. You are a powerful energy source. You have that ability to affect things over there. But when you are limited and boxed through owning a label, whether it be a health or wellness label, mental health label, whether it be an empath, that the word empath has created no end of trouble for people who are sensitive. Yes, that's another word. But an empath is a sensory. And what are senses? They are the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 senses you have. What'd you say? 10? Yes. You don't have just 5 senses. You have more than that, but you're not showing them in this world. This construct is here for you to experience soul expansion, not soul inhibition, not soul restriction. Oh, that's a shame, Joy. Sorry about that. It doesn't seem to be freezing this end. I hope it will improve elsewhere. I know that there has been some disturbance in the ether, the man-made ether, so maybe that's what's playing up. So when you look at your life and you are thinking about your life, I'm going to ask you to follow Archangel Uriel's message. What are you attached to? What can you remove attachment from? How are you going to welcome in expansion and enjoy an expansive sensation in your life, in everything that you do? Small things make the difference. Don't try and look for the great big picture, because again, that's trying to reach into a reality that is not real. And the only reality you know is what's right in front of you right now. Anything else, you are just seeping energy out of yourself and losing energy. So it's really important that you have a look at where you are letting your energy go to. And in that means you have to be quite vigilant with your thoughts and in particular with your conversations. The other thing that I wanted to share with you tonight is those of you who joined me or who watched after the special edition of Soul and Beyond that we had last Wednesday with Penny Whitbrot from the USA. You know, I have had many wonderful experiences of going between the realms, of going to the heavens with spirit and archangels and so forth. So to speak with Penny, who had a near-death experience, and hear her explain the very things and her conversation with God in the way that is familiar to me was wonderful. So when you are looking at your life, thanks, Kelly. Yes, it sure was. And she's going to come back. I've asked her to come back. And she said that by the way, everyone, she said it was the nicest and the best interview that she has experienced. So I was really happy for that. And she's delighted to come back and share with us some more. We have more to talk about. So when we're talking about this non-attachment and shifting ourselves in our current reality, one thing that you can do tonight, when you are heading to bed tonight, you can determine that you want to have an open mind that is not of the construct in this world. So you make a pledge to yourself. I open my mind to know more of my soul. And in doing that, you become a wonderful conduit for much higher ways of living. And you become a conduit for a better humanity, which means a better world. And it's not necessarily a better world for tomorrow. It's a better tomorrow, meaning, you know, decades and decades time. It's meaning when you wake up the next day, because that's tomorrow. There's no other tomorrow that you know of. And there's no other moment that you know of. If I go back to our friend who left the scene of the accident, that was it. That was the end of her moments here. But it was not the end of her. There is definitely endings to everything in this world. There has to be. Absolutely has to be. And when you have a look at the history of this world, it's really very interesting that it is so repetitive. So repetitive. So who's not learning? Why? Why do we have all this repetitiveness? we have found out lots of things that weren't exposed to us before about things that have been done by people in positions of power. When you look back over the history that we're provided with, question mark, how do we know? How do we know that it took place? It's the same as somebody recounting to you an accident that they saw, and then when you go and talk to 4 other people, they will give you 4 different accounts of that same accident. So which one's right? Everything in this world is perception and perspective. And our perception and perspectives are colored by our beliefs, our habits, our upbringing, our culture, what we watch, what we listen to. Have a think about that. I'm just going to read Lena's comment here. Oh my God, I've been working on this for a while. I do find this rather difficult at times. Which part of it, Lena? I know why this is an experience I'd like to embrace without feeling detached from others. Well, would you like to expand on that, Lena? That sounds really meaty, really interesting. Not easily explained from my perspective on the topic. Okay. I know why this is an experience I'd like to embrace without feeling detached from others. Can you put what the feeling is without feeling detached? Well, no. Can you put what the experience is, Lena? Did you know that unconditional love and unconditional acceptance have no attachment? None. That's a hard one to swallow, isn't it? But that's the truth of it. Unconditional love, unconditional acceptance of all that is in front of you has no attachment. It isn't an easy thing to get your head around initially. But when you begin to look at things around you through the eyes of God, when you start to look at things around you through the eyes of your soul, you will see what I mean. And life will change exponentially. And you become an amazing contributor. I'm not saying you're not amazing, because you are, but you become an amazing contributor to this world and the future of the next hour even. Judgment, Lena, one of the great all-time hold you down, hold you back, keep you in fear, stop you from expanding. That's all judgment is about. But you need also to look at where you judge yourself. We are our own worst critics. We bring judgment to ourselves. So it's really important to begin not to judge yourself. When you do, you then learn to release it and accept whatever it is you're judging yourself on, not to be so hard on yourself. And that will then shift the way that judgment sits with you in regards to others. Kylie Russell, I have tears every Monday when the truth and love in what you say touches my heart and soul. Oh, you'll make me cry, Kylie. You're not allowed to do that, you know. That's a beautiful comment. Thank you, Kylie. Really appreciate it. Yes, Lena, I got that. Thanks, Kelly. And I believe that when you register for Soul and Beyond, then you are able to watch it on demand, which is one of the great things about this. So, yeah, please do. It is worth you beginning to look into yourself and ask yourself, why did I really come here? What did I want from coming here to this world? Especially when you look at everything in this world is recycled. And it's recycled as badly as the rubbish tips. You ever been out there and seen their recycling? Release and accept. Yes, Tanya. The recycling here is because so many times we don't get it right. So we have to come back. There are lessons, for want of a better word, that we didn't achieve. There is something else that we want to experience. So things remain the same. Have a look around you and see how much is just regurgitated constantly. And then you've got to remember that in every moment, somebody arrives in this world at the same time somebody else exits. That's the way it goes. Is this world really overpopulated? Oh, please. Really? Somebody passes, somebody comes in. That's the way of this world. No, it is not overpopulated. Is it badly managed? Well, that depends on where you look. Again, perception, perspective, what do we see? Wendy Massey Martin, hello. Yes, I am. I hope you are too. Welcome. I'll give you an example of what I was just talking about there. Near to my place in Perth, down the freeway, there was huge destruction of beautiful trees. Beautiful trees. And I felt it energetically when I first came upon it, and it just sprung tears immediately. It was just horrible. And I thought of the birds, or the ecological life, and the trees themselves, because there are tree spirits, there are elemental spirits that belong to all of that. And I just found it so difficult to drive down there each day. And one day when I took a big breath to go down there again, the most beautiful message that came through was, nature will always find a way. Nature will always find a way. So I accepted that. And do you know what? Going by now, I see it very differently. And I'm seeing new things, new growth popping up. And then around the neighbourhoods, the councils are putting in all these new vegetations, new trees. Nature will always find a way. So making the choice to say, I am going to see through the eyes of my soul, or through the eyes of God, will change your life. And it will change the way things around you appear. It will change your acceptance of the things around you. This is a world of duality. Oh, you're very welcome, Jean. I'll thank Archangel Uriel and also the beautiful Amadeus that came in as well. Thank you, Lena. It's lovely. So in closing tonight, I ask you to think about the labels that you have accepted. Think about the way that you confine yourself into something that makes you attach yourself, and let them go. Open yourself up to your soul. Open yourself up to the divine within you, and watch the world around you change. If you have got health issues, it will make a big difference to your health issues. If you have got some kind of lack going on, it will change the lack. Beautiful. Thank you, Karen. So with that, everyone, I bid you farewell for this week. And please remember, when it is a public holiday, which apparently there's one coming up somewhere towards the end of September, maybe it's October, I don't know. But otherwise, I'm here every Monday. And of course, you can always join us in the Spirit Seekers Society, where there is an abundance of opportunity for you to learn the tools, the practices, and to have me in there for your guidance as well. So I say good night to you all, and I thank you very, very much for popping in. You're very welcome, Colleen. I hope you enjoyed it, and much love and blessings to you all. Good night. Hey, Jane, you're welcome. That's beautiful. See you again.